Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams.
And with that, welcome in everybody to another edition of Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. We are nowhere to be found right now. I believe we're going to be found somewhere. Oh, well, 1 second here. Oh my goodness, we are all over the place. Chad, Bryan, and Eli Moon here. There we go. Oh my goodness, it was like we planned it. Chad, Bryan, and Eli Moon here with you. It is Inside Edge Primetime. We're back in the saddle. Chad was with you on Thursday. I was enjoying some sunshine. I don't know if you noticed, I got some tan look on my face here, Chad. I was in 80-degree weather out there in Texas. We had the Thriller in Texas Festival, Texas and Ohio artists. It was a great, great time. I got off the plane, and I had my jacket with me, and I got the jacket on immediately. I texted my bro. I said, jacket on as soon as I got out of the airport little shuttle into the airport. I just don't play about the cold, and it was snowing today here in Ohio. I mean, back in Cleveland, obviously, and we're Cleveland's digital leader here. Thank you for choosing the Inside Edge Network. I'm glad to be back in the saddle. But, Chad, I'm happy to be back with you, man. It was a heck of a weekend, and I'm glad to be back on Primetime. How was everything while I was gone? Did you make sure you kept the place nice and everything?
I did, yeah. It should be all cleaned up. If you look around, I think it's pretty well straightened up. We couldn't find the light switch there at the beginning of the show. We were in the dark, couldn't see us, but I just figured it was a primetime show. I thought we were going lights off. I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't sure anymore. So, no, everything's good, man, except for the snow. You're right. I could do without the snow. Like, it's almost April, and I know we get big snows in April sometimes toward the end of April. I get it. Doesn't mean I want it. Doesn't mean I like it. So I could definitely do without the snow. But welcome back to Northeast Ohio. Rumor has it the southern half of the state was like close to in the 90s this weekend at one point, and then 45 minutes later, I looked at my phone and it was 31 here. So that was fun. Pretty wild weekend as far as weather. Not as wild as last weekend when I didn't have power the entire weekend, but you never know what you're going to get. Meteors everywhere, all over the country, by the way. One followed you down to Texas. I don't know if you saw that. Now this is California today. So,
dude, I'll tell you this. I've had a heck of a weekend, man. And like I said, a blessed time out there in San Antonio. Shout out to all my family out there in San Antonio. Had a great time. Brought my Lahele brother, Cliche, and then ND5 also with us. Lahele rocking strong. And I thought it was real cool. What wasn't cool was the hotel that we originally got. Chad, I kind of told you a little bit about this. I won't reveal the name of the hotel, just because they worked with us pretty well to get our refund. But we were missing a TV. There was no TV on the wall. And it wasn't the most pleasant hotel room. But besides that, great time. I'll be back in November. Got a few out-of-state shows. I'll be in New York next month. So I might be on. Now, the beautiful thing is I will be able to do all the prime time. I'll be able to. You guys won't miss me this time, so that's a good thing. But yeah, glad to be back in the saddle. And I know you were holding it down here really well with TK. Thanks to TK Dandridge for holding it down and everybody. I'm curious, man. How's your bracket looking? I was kind of looking at the bracket challenge. Papa Moon was letting me know all weekend. He's like, I'm just letting you know, for the only guy on here without a sports podcast, I'm doing pretty good for this March Madness challenge. He's in second place. Chad, where are you faring out right now, man?
Well, what that tells me is that I know that he watched our Tuesday top five from last week, and he took our advice, and he just figured out the best way to fill out his bracket from it.
Yep.
Mine's pretty cooked. I honestly haven't looked after the like midway through the second day. See, Eli, it was the pain of losing my perfect bracket for me, and for me, it didn't happen until all the way after the first game of the tournament that tipped. I took over TCU. So I lost my perfect bracket right away, and I was like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm not even going to look. I'm not going to win. I know what's going to happen every single year. It's the same thing. I entered my bracket. I'm like, I feel really good about this one. It looks really. I've got some like McNeese's on there. I got some Siennas. I got some teams. This is going to be like I can't wait for the high point, whatever. And I got a couple of my upsets. I hit on a couple, but man, I missed on nearly everything else. My first round was bad. Haven't even looked at my bracket score since the second round's over. Haven't even looked at it. Eli.
Well, I want you to know, pal. There's a good news. I forgot to fill out my bracket until about approximately, about 10 minutes before I was taking off from Chicago to San Antonio, which was my layover flight. And I'm like, man, I gotta do this. I gotta get my picks in. Yeah. So I did my picks. I got them in, and now I'm projected 0% chance to win our bracket challenge. I'm in dead last.
It's going to be that as soon as I filled mine out. It was at 0% chance. I was like, yeah. But okay.
Yeah, better luck next year. I don't know who the guy on this network, though, that was saying Prairie View A&M, and they were going to beat Florida. But I'll tell you, that guy.
Someone beat Florida.
Dude, I was wrong about that, obviously. I'll be the one to say it. Prairie View A&M, I thought they were the 16th seed to do it. Siena almost did it. You guys did a great job covering that. But, yes, Florida going down to Iowa. That was a crazy game. And I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head, so forgive me, Iowa fans. But the guy who knocked down the game winner, he almost threw a punch. I don't know if you saw that earlier in the game. He threw a punch that looked like it was connected, and he maybe could have been out of the game. Florida's coach wasn't happy. It just seemed like everything that could have went wrong for Florida in that game went wrong, and they're going home. Now, UConn's, I believe, the only national champions to get back to the Sweet 16 round the following year.
Okay.
I think they're the only in the last, I don't want to say it's the last 15 years, they're the last team to do that. So that's just a credit to Dan Hurley and that UConn team that was running into some trouble for a moment there with UCLA. They were running into a little bit of trouble. They didn't, obviously, because Mick Cronin couldn't get his team to stop turning the ball over. They were fouling like crazy, and that was just the story of the game, man. But I love the Spartans. I'm a Spartans guy. I love Michigan State. I have a soft spot in my heart for Ohio State, but I know as a Cleveland guy, I get a lot of hate, or flack, I should say, for being a Michigan State guy. But, hey, they're back in the Sweet 16. I thought a really cool thing was Michigan had just won their game against St. Louis, and they had Michigan State come out to warm up, and Michigan's walking off, and they're going, just smile and wave, boys, just smile and wave. I think we could really have some interesting Sweet 16 matchups.
Yeah.
I think the coolest one out of all of them, though, Chad, and I want your thoughts maybe on what you think is a cool matchup. Iowa and Nebraska. We are living in a world in this Big Ten where, Indiana just won the 2025, 26, whatever, national championship in football. And now one of Iowa or Nebraska basketball is going to the Elite Eight. And 6 of the Sweet 16 teams are Big Ten teams.
Pretty wild. And it's funny when I hear Iowa and Nebraska, my brain can't make me do anything but think punt and interception. I don't know why. I just can't think.
And corn.
Picture a basketball. Yeah, I can't even picture a basketball court. But no, it's awesome. Yeah, Nebraska. First of all, Nebraska had never won a game in the tournament ever, and in the history of their school, that's wild. Now they're in the Sweet 16 and could get to the Elite Eight. I think that's pretty cool. Iowa, they clearly score a little better than the football team does. I think they do a better job of putting the ball in the bucket than the football team does of putting the ball in the end zone. So that's certainly good. Seems like the end zone's a lot bigger, should be easier, but what do I know? I'm kidding.
That's funny.
No, yeah, I think that's an interesting. Like you said, so many Big Ten teams. That's a mouthful. Left. No Ohio teams though. All 4 Ohio teams. We said it. They're gone. I mean, that was it. Like it was, first couple of days of the tournament. And didn't take long for Akron to lose on day 2, and obviously Miami of Ohio went down to Tennessee. So it was funny. I saw a post right before that was like, "Is Ohio the hotbed of college basketball?" And college basketball immediately gave a resounding no. It's not. No.
Speaking of that, though, I thought it was so interesting. I saw something about Division I colleges, like for basketball teams, I believe it was. You see how many are on the East Coast compared to the West Coast? Like, now it makes sense why you choose a UCLA or a Cal or a Stanford or, USC, because those are like the big schools out there, and it's interesting, man. This is a fun time of year. You see the crazy, the schools doing their stuff. I believe I saw a story about Troy. They were saying the Troy Trojans, their basketball team doesn't believe in taking any elevators or escalators, that they only take the stairs because, you got to work hard. And I think that's something maybe we should start implementing here on Primetime,
Yeah, absolutely. No more escalators in the house. No more elevators. From now on, when I come here to the studio, I'm only taking the stairs. I think I can put that into effect pretty easily, honestly.
Okay, well, I'm gonna see how we do tomorrow. Good news for me is there's not a lot of stairs I don't have to walk up, so that's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
Good thing for me, I don't have an escalator or an elevator, so it's like a very easy version of Lent. I have nothing to cut out.
Dude. I'll tell you another thing real quick while we're just catching up here on this opening segment of Primetime. And again, if you're just not tuning in, thank you for tuning in here. That's Chad Bryan to my right. I'm Eli Moon, and we are here on the Inside Edge Network. Give us a follow, Inside Edge Net. We're Cleveland's home of digital leader. We're Cleveland's digital leader, or home, of sports, entertainment, mental health, everything in between. We're your source. So make sure you stay locked in here with us on Inside Edge Net. Again, there's a QR code. I'm going to go that way. Yes. See the little, I still got my Texas wristband on, pal. But there's a QR code. It's going to send you to the link for InsideEdgeNetwork.com, our new website, to the partners page. So if you want to go get some cool gear off Fanatics.com, go check out SportsMemorabilia.com. We'll talk about them later on in the show. Or any of our great partners and our sponsors, then you will see that on the QR code. Go there and go ahead and get what you need. But, of course, great stuff on Fanatics.com and some other great stuff there, too. I just wanted to mention that. I also wanted to mention real quick before we go to break, have you ever had Whataburger?
I have not had Whataburger. No, I've had Fatburger, but no Whataburger.
Dude.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not an onion guy.
Okay.
I root against onion in the hot dog race at Progressive Field.
Wait a minute. Me too, but I have a reason for it. Okay, but go ahead. That's fine.
Dang, we might need that reason later
on. All right,
on.
We'll get to that.
Okay. All right. But I got minus onions. I got the pepper sauce with this patty melt on Texas toast. Bro, it was right after the show.
Is it in Texas?
Yeah.
Don't they just call it toast?
Fair, probably.
I don't know. It's like a Brazil nut. I didn't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It was so good, though, bro. We had that, and then we got put onto a spot called Griff's. There's only 2 Griff's in Texas. In Dallas, there's one, and one in San Antonio. They served us country fried steak like tenders with a side of gravy, fries. I mean, if these restaurants out there, thank you so much for taking care of us. If you're listening out there, you want to become a sponsor of Inside Edge Network, I will rave about it to the day I'm no longer here. This thing was, these items, these food places were so good, Chad. I mean, I got a tan, I'm looking good. Then the snow happens. And March Madness is the only reason I'm okay.
Well, the good thing is you can still eat in the snow. And by the way, you can't start the show talking about food. Like, if you come back from break and I'm not sitting here, it's because I'm downstairs eating. This isn't my fault.
That's fair. Man. Hey, before we go to break, what's your beef with onion?
Oh, now we're gonna talk about beef. You gotta some more food. Do you remember when it was Jacobs Field, I think, for a while. Remember when they had the winter thing? You could go there and skate. And I don't skate. I'm a terrible skater. But you could go down the luge, like the little ice luge. You could do all the winter stuff. You could have a snowball fight or whatever. So at one point, my wife was like, "Hey, I want to go down the luge." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So what do you do as a husband? You're like, "Hey, you want me to hold your purse?" I sat there and I held her purse. So Onion walks up, right, with her own purse, which is just a lunch bag, by the way. We're on to you. It's not a real purse. It was a lunch bag. She walks up, and Onion starts pointing and laughing, right? So we get into it a little bit, right? Now we're kind of like going around in a circle, and she takes my wife's purse. I have her lunch bag. We thought about doing like a little trade-off or whatever. Then she ran with my wife's purse. There's a whole crowd of people that I think were they thought it was part of the thing. In reality, it was just them being hilarious. I have no idea who was in that costume that night, but it was just them being hilarious. Absolutely just messing with someone. It was really kind of funny. We got into a whole thing. We had a whole standoff for a 5 minutes. And then my wife comes around. I'm like, "You have no idea what just happened to me." I just got into it with Onion. We're no longer friends. We're actually enemies. I'm enemies, but I go to the Onion. I go to the hot dog race, and I'm like, ketchup or mustard for me, man. Sorry, can't root for Onion. Or she tried to steal my wife's purse.
You'll have to ask AA one time. There was a time I went out. There was a girl I was talking to for a half second.
Uh-oh.
And I said I didn't like onion during the hot dog race. I'm a mustard guy. Through and through. And she basically was not happy with me at that point. So it was very hard. By the seventh inning, I eventually was able to like recuperate to where maybe I got her number, but like kind of messed that one up, pal. So for all you onion lovers out there, you know,
onions are this. Yeah, that's it. Onions are at the center of love. We know that.
Just make sure you scrub your teeth after, man. Nobody wants to kiss no onion breath. Come on now. All right. With that being said, we're going to take a quick pause here. We're back in the saddle, man. It's like we're never left, man. That's Chad Bryan to my right, your left. I'm Eli Moon. This is Inside Edge Primetime. We are going to come back. We're going to talk about a really, really cool story in March Madness, and we're going to kind of talk about the effects of coaching and how that plays into March Madness and all these other tournaments and just in pivotal moments in sports. And then the Seahawks paid their top receiver. We're going to talk about Jaxon Smith-Njigba. We're going to talk about the market for wide receivers and talk some NFL offseason. And then later on in the show, we'll talk some UFC and some other things as well. Scottie Pippen, man, what are you doing, Scottie? Okay, before we do that, we're going to talk about our friends at AlleyRoseFragrances.com, though, of course. That is AlleyRoseFragrances.com. The code is InsideEdge20. The new spring edition is out. I saw some really cool ones, including Soft Bloom and Lemon Bar. Chad and Amechi, yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Okay. I mean, Inside Edge 20, you get 20% off your order for first-time customers. You can get $20 off a $100 order. You're slicing $20 off. Where else are you going to do that? Not anywhere else but AlleyRoseFragrances.com right now for 20% off with our code Inside Edge 20. Chad, I mean, you can rave about it. You keep these candles lit every day.
Literally, my wife has one in her office right now. Again, I've said it before. I mean, all cruelty-free, vegan materials, no onions, right? No onions at all in these candles. I can promise you that. I don't know why there would be onions, but there aren't any. I promise. And listen, if you have onion breath and you don't want someone to light an Alley Rose Fragrances candle, no one's gonna know. They're gonna smell the lemon bar? That's amazing.
Yes.
That sounds like it actually smells really good. I want one, but. Yes, they're gonna smell use the body mist, and no one's even they're gonna be like onion. What's onion breath? You smell fantastic, and you can say it's from AlleyRoseFragrances.com. You can go there and you can use the code InsideEdge20 to save yourself 20% off your first order today, and they're gonna run there because you smell amazing, even with onion breath. What else do you want?
You heard Chad tonight. InsideEdge20 is the code. 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Great candles, great body mist, and a great person that we love working with here as one of our sponsors on the Inside Edge Network. So, with that being said, Chad, Bryan, and I, we're going to take a quick pause. When we come back, you'll have your caffeine, you'll have your dinner on your West Coast, and we're going to talk some NFL and NCAA March Madness, the women's side of things. We talked the men's side. We're going to talk the women's side of things here as they are in action as well. Back after this.
Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Ryan and Hallie Mosser. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio, but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan to my right, your left. I am Eli Moon. We are back in the saddle here on Inside Edge Primetime. Shout out to Mosser Moments Photography. Obviously, our guy Ryan Mosser, his wife Hallie, they do a great job. If you need an important day, and you have an important day, and you need some great photos, to hit up Ryan and Hallie, Mosser Moments Photography. And yeah, absolutely. I could have probably used them even on Texas. Some great shots on stage. I mean, they have a lot of great shots, and I'm excited. I'm excited. So, Mosser Moments Photography, Chad. Man, dude, it feels good to be back, man. I'm just telling you, it feels good to be back, man. It's, where do you want to take this thing? I think we should start segment 2 off here with the importance of great coaching, pal. I want to ask you, when a coach, okay, so we've covered a lot on this show. Let me start with this. On this show, we've covered the outrage, the tirades of coaches, the bozo lands, and
the bozo land, yeah.
We've covered a lot of that, but I don't think we've ever really, I shouldn't say ever, done a lot of shows, but I don't think we talked too much about the importance of great coaching.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had saw the Maryland game the other night, or at least a video from the coach, but Maryland had a very inspirational moment where the coach was really just getting into one of their players and just telling, like, I believe in you, but you got to believe in yourself. I mean, how important is great coaching right now in these types of tournaments?
I think it's the difference. I mean, look what Tom Izzo does. We talked about it on over the weekend. It's just Tom Izzo at Michigan State. You can't count them out. It's uncanny. Every year it's like I'm not going to say they're a middling Big Ten team, but they're just, they're pretty good, right? They're 12th, they're 15th, they're in the middle of the pack as far as the top 25 goes. Very rarely do we see them come out, just storm out to like a 25-0, 25-1 type of season, where they start off really hot. Whatever, they're just there. They win some big games. They lose a couple games they shouldn't, probably lose. And you go, well, maybe this is the year. And then suddenly March comes around, right? And it's like that first round, and all of a sudden Michigan State's beating somebody like 98-61. And it looks like they have 5 first-round draft picks on the floor. Something happens. It's just the development, And Ryan said it on the Sunday Sports Show. It's just that the way that they look from January until March, every single year under Izzo, and I won't say every single year, but I would bet over 90% of the seasons that he's coached, you can see the improvement on the floor. It's wild. So no, I think I think it can be. It's crucial, I mean, yeah, you can get a situation where, Kentucky was getting pretty much, 5 first-round guys every year when it was the one and done rule, and they would come in and they'd do their thing, right? 5 freshmen would start and they'd get to the Final Four or the championship game or win, whatever, and you could see how just talent would override, lesser.
Oh, we lost Chad here for a moment.
Talent. You don't have that dominance. I think we see coaching, look at the St. John's Kansas matchup. It's we see that it takes a great coach sometimes to get a team over that hump, right?
Yes. And we were talking, and obviously in basketball, now they lost that game, Maryland. Just want to point that out. They did lose that game in the game. The moment was really what it was. It was a loss to North Carolina as a 74-66 loss, but it was head coach Brenda Freeze. And it was Oluchi Akananwa for Maryland. So very interesting there. I was talking before the show even about, like, I wrestled, like, my whole life pretty much up until, like, my last 2 years of high school. I didn't wrestle. I tore my pec and that was it. Obviously that's why I'm here on the Inside Edge Network talking, not on the Olympics and wrestling. But, I talk about the importance of great coaching there because it's like, I was telling you before, we had a coach that was in the trenches with us. Like,
Yeah.
grinding it out. Practices. You're in that room. It's like it's you and your team, and that's it. And it's wrestling's a one-on-one sport, but that's the only time you're really like in a team type like vibe.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was a lot of lessons learned there when like, okay, how can you really dig deep and do this? And I think that was where Brenda Fries was trying to get to her players, Okinawa and just everybody in general, and trying to say like, you got to want this. And now, granted, they didn't win the game, but I think those are, like you said, those are types of moments where you could push a team to higher heights. I mean, look at what Rick Pitino's doing with St. John's.
Right.
I mean, St. John's having one of their best runs. Not to go back to men's basketball for a moment, but they are having one of their best runs in a long time, in a very long time. And I think it's very cool to see how they're doing. But that's just great coaching. You look at Arkansas with John Calipari, or Calipari. You look at that. He's having a great run with Arkansas. I mean, these coaches, they make a big difference. You even look on, the other side. These great coaches, Gino Auriemma for a long time with UConn. I mean, he's done his thing. I mean, these coaches have, Kim Mulkey with LSU. I mean, you have these coaches that make a big difference, Chad.
Yes. Well, and I think you saw with excuse me, caught me mid drink, but yeah, I think you saw with in the case of the Maryland player, some people I think assumed that her coach was. I mean, yeah. I mean, I first of all, I see if it's for a point, I see no problem with the coach getting loud with the players. Sometimes I think you have to know your players, right? Some players are going to respond to that better than others. Some players aren't, and I think it's just getting to know your players individually. And she said in the press conference, I've asked her to do that with me. I need that from time to time. It's sometimes it snaps you back to reality a little bit as a player. You get sort of lost in the shuffle of what's going on the court until you have that familiar voice that kind of comes back in and says, hey, like, listen, you're more than good enough to do this. You have to want it. Do you want it? Go prove you want it. I mean, go do it. Like, you just show that you're good enough. And it's like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I can do this. And it doesn't seem like whatever. I think sometimes fans just assume that these players are robots. They just go out there and they go through the motion, they score their 16.5 points a game, and they pull down their 8.5 rebounds, and nothing ever varies from the norm. But that's not true at all, right? Like, sometimes it's like certain games are different. I mean, you come out and you're on the floor, and all of a sudden the rim looks like it's 12 feet in the air, and you're like, why can't I shoot today?
Yeah.
I think sometimes you need a coach to kind of help keep you grounded. It doesn't make you shoot any better, but it can remind you that there are other things that you can do in that game to contribute and to get over it, whatever. I think it helps to have a great coach there to remind you, like, hey, let's go, get back into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and a lot of we were talking about the lopsided scores in the women's NCAA March Madness tournament. I mean, it can get away from you really quickly. It seems like a lot faster in women's basketball too. So I mean, the fact that Brenda Fries was like, hey, let's get this together. I mean, they ended up losing by, I believe it was 8, 74-66, I believe was the final score. So you're looking at that. I mean, but it could have got away. So I think that was where she was just trying to like instill that. So I think that was interesting there. Importance of great coaching. It's definitely needed, and we'll kind of keep an eye on all that. I want to ask you this too, pal. What would you do with $168.6 million?
I don't know if that's enough money for me per se. What a dumb answer. No, I don't know. I'd probably whatever I want, basically. I don't know. I'd have to think about that for about 4 seasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If I gave it to you for 4 seasons, that'd actually be $42.15 million per year.
Okay.
And that is how much
portion of it guaranteed.
Yes. I'm glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked. Yes, there's a crazy amount guaranteed. I believe the number is 120 million. I believe for Jaxon Smith-Njigba.
Oh, is that who? Oh, you're not giving me money.
No. So here's the thing. Jaxon Smith-Njigba, he is the highest paid wide receiver. I'm sorry, pal. I'm so sorry. He is the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Smart move, it seems like, for the Seahawks, because it's only going to get more expensive. I think, we talked about a guy who probably going to have another strong year. Seahawks coming off the Super Bowl. You ink up your best receiver. You ink up probably your best player on offense besides Kenneth Walker, who's now a Chief. I think this was good business for the Seahawks. What do you think, pal?
Yeah, it's a good contract. I mean, we saw and sometimes I think somebody's going to find the one game, right, where he said, well, he only had 4 catches for 70 yards here. What about that? Okay, that's one game. Like, but he also, I mean, he attracts the attention of half that side of the field's defense, like of the defenders, right? Like, you've got 2 corners keeping an eye on the safety that are always looking at Jaxon Smith-Njigba, right? Yeah, it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. If I can lock up a guy like that for 4 seasons here in Cleveland, and then if we had somebody to throw to him, and then if we had some guys to block for the guy that could throw to the guy that could, makes you realize how far out we are. But yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, I think it's a great signing for the Seahawks. I mean, like you said, probably saves them a little bit of money in the long run. Seems like he's happy there. I mean, 4 years, 100 whatever million. I guess that would make you just about happy anywhere, really. But some guys, it's not about the money. So, but yeah, good for them, good for him. He certainly deserves, I think. Now, I think you'll see a flood of contracts. He may only be the highest paid receiver for a short time, right? That's how these things go. Like now, the market, it's changed, and the next guy's gonna go, well, I need more than that, or I'm leaving. So they'll have to give somebody $1.5 million more, and then he won't be the highest paid receiver for a long time. But yeah, for right now, I think it's a good recruiting tool for Ohio State. It's good for Seattle. It's good for Jaxon Smith-Njigba. It's good for Sam Darnold. It's a win-win, right? Win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I want to ask you this before we go to break. There's another receiver out there that's still a free agent. That was one of the best receivers in football at one point. I don't know where he's at now. Well, I know where he's at. He's at home chilling just like me and you are here, but he's just not doing Inside Edge Primetime. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's Tyreek Hill. Where is this guy going to end up?
Ooh, I don't know. There hasn't been a whole lot of. I just haven't seen really any smoke like Tyreek Hill to wherever. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they want him in Kansas City?
I still think Kansas City. I think they're going to get the band back together. But I keep saying my dark horse is Chicago. I really think Chicago could be interesting. They just moved off DJ Moore, could line themselves up for a receiver, or they could go get Tyreek Hill, bring him in, have a deep threat for Caleb Williams, that team. I mean, it could be really, really interesting. So I'm excited to see that.
Did I see that Kelsey signed a 3-year extension with?
Yes.
I thought he was like really heavily considering retiring this past season.
Yeah, no, 3-year extension, 3-year, $54.7 million deal.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, gonna be interesting.
Not enough money for me per se. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I think that's I just was a little surprised to see that. I kind of glanced by and I was like, wait, and I never went back to it. But okay, all right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I get it. It was interesting. From a year we thought he was just gonna have one more year, and then now it's 3. So we'll kind of keep a look. He can still change his mind, but at least he's secured the bag, and kind of keep an eye on that. Hey, you know what? Real quick, I'm gonna take a quick step. We're gonna take a quick step away for a moment. I've been away for a minute. Yeah, just me. I've been away for a moment, and I wanted to just refresh my mind here, Chad. You remember this is our friends here from W Energy, and they just want a quick word here with us, okay?
Let's hear it.
Clean energy, bold flavors, no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Helps you lock in and focus. Over 15 absolute fire flavors to choose from. Visit Dubby.gg and use promo code InsideEdge10.
Absolutely great. That is, again, Dubby.gg. Code is InsideEdge10. Chad and I, we love energy. We love energy. And if you need jitterless, no crash, no zero sugar energy, then you got to go get Dubby Energy. A lot of great flavors. Like I said, we're going to show one more time here. Look at these flavors. Dub Sludge. You got Push and Punch. Dragonade. I mean, again, code InsideEdge10. 10% off your order. Chad, a great deal right there.
Yeah. Like you said, zero sugar. No jitters, no crash. And a bunch of great flavors to choose from. I mean, if you can't find, I think over 15 flavors, you can't find something you like, then, you need to refine your palate. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, I love it. I love just the huge variety of flavors. I love the obviously no sugar, no jitters, no crash, natural ingredients, and a little energy is never bad. Need some energy sometimes. I'm a little bit older. Sometimes I need some energy just, Eli, to get out of bed in the morning. I wake up and I'm like, I could already go back to sleep. Need some Dubby.
I feel it. Well, hey, we maybe me and you both need to look into that and get some more Dubby. And anybody out there needs to get some Dubby Energy, get it. InsideEdge10 is the code, 10% off your order. That's capital I, capital E, all one word, InsideEdge10 at Dubby.gg. So, with that being said, we're going to take a quick pause. When we come back, we're going to put a bow on this edition of Monday Inside Edge Primetime. We're going to talk about the UFC. We're going to talk about Scottie Pippen. It's been a day. And then we're going to get some final thoughts, and we'll get out of here. But that's Chad Bryan to my right, your left. I am Eli Moon. While we're on the break, I don't know if the code may still be there. If not, go ahead and scan it when we come back. Scan it right now and go to the Inside Edge Network. Go to the partners page and go ahead and grab some of this great stuff from W Energy, Fanatics.com, AlleyRoseFragrances.com. You also have SportsMemorabilia.com. We'll talk about them later, and Monster Moments Photography. So that's all the great stuff. You saw Chad advertising it. We're going to take a quick pause. We're back right after this.
Whether you're searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and player. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, but you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee.
All right, we had to hit the music. Welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan, of course, to my right, your left. Oh my goodness, there he is. I'm Eli Moon. We're back one more time here on this Monday edition. We had to hit the music, Chad. We had to hit the music. We get in the intro. We usually have a little pause with a little chill music in between. Had to get them the music one more time.
Well,
we'll hear it at the end.
We're all out of W over here. We had to get some music energy.
Yes. Yes.
Didn't
absolutely.
work.
Shout out our friends at sportsmemorabilia.com one more time. Show the link, sportsmemorabilia.com. That's the website. You go to the QR code and get sportsmemorabilia.com. There's a certificate of authenticity. So you give you peace of mind, some great grabs there. So, yeah, you heard Chad. You see Chad pointing over there? So we're going to do that. I think we're going to start with the UFC here first, pal.
Let's do it.
We'll start with the UFC, and then we'll dive into Scottie Pippen. We'll see what's going on here. All right? But the UFC has a fighter problem, okay? And when I say this, the UFC has had a trouble with making stars and keeping stars relevant.
Okay.
Michael Venom Page, however, not a guy that they created in terms of a star. He came over from Bellator, was a Bellator champion, Chad. I know you're not the biggest combat sports guy all the time, so I'm going to get you up to speed. Michael Venom Page, Bellator.
So long, man. I haven't watched. It's like it was pure boxing. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever.
I get it. Now, Michael Venom Page, he's a former Bellator champion. He's a historic fighter in this last generation, last probably 15, 20 years, I'd say. He's a guy who's really done this thing, and he's over in the UFC. He's making waves. They had a UFC London card. Now, Michael Venom Page should have probably been the co-main, if not the main event of this card. He wasn't. So, okay, he was on the main card, however. And now, mind you, keep in mind, Michael Venom Page, a guy who, 38 years old, near the end of his career, he's an English professional mixed martial artist. So he's from England. They had the card in London. Even he said they wanted to see me. And he fought a fight. He still had a good fight, but he wasn't happy with how it turned out. He won. But he came out, the thing that I think was interesting, he came out that They Don't Care About Us by Michael Jackson. And he mentioned that, Dana White, there was a rumor that Dana White, the UFC president, left during his fight. Which, with everything with, Dana White getting involved in boxing, Eddie Hearn being Tom Aspinall, the UFC heavyweight champion's manager, them talking about boxing, it just seems like there's a lot of, disdain for fighters and the pay. And it seems like with so much money to go around and you hear the fighters talk about how they're broke, it's just disheartening. And I guess they don't have a fighter problem. Maybe that's the wrong thing to say. Yeah. They have a fighter problem because the fighters are getting sick of getting paid pennies on the dollar, Chad.
Yeah, it sounds like they have a leadership problem. And it's not that... Listen, I don't think anyone's accusing Dana White of not being he didn't found all these different without some foresight, right? But sometimes it reminds me of, and I've said it before on the network, I have ADHD, right? So sometimes I get an idea and I get really, really, really into it. It becomes like a hobby. It's a passion of mine for a little bit. And I do all the things, and then I get to a certain point and I don't know what to do anymore. And it almost feels like looking from the outside in that Dana White, I'm not saying he has ADHD, but it reminds me of me. It's like he's, okay, I founded this thing. We've got this mixed martial arts. We're fighting. Everything's great. We've gotten to this certain point. We're worldwide. We're global. It's exploding. I don't know where to go from here. So I'm just going to start tinkering and trying things because I refuse to get some actual, and I think he's admitted before at certain times that other people are running the league and other people are matchmaking, fighting. He's just he always kind of passes the buck. It's like, well, talk to somebody else. But you've got to take some leadership, man. You're the guy, right? Like you've got to step in and fix this. Whether you need to like formulate a leadership council or a financial board or something to get people together, so it's not just a bunch of egos clashing all the time. You've got to figure out how to take care of your fighters because, quite simply, I mean, you can think that you can just bring guys in and it'll whatever. The turnover doesn't matter. It does matter. You need the name recognition. You guys have to become household names, right? Like that's how everybody makes more money. That's why boxing promotion was so big in the 80s and the 90s. I mean, it was huge. You had household names. You had these bigger than life characters, man, whether you like them or not. Don King, these promoters that would, whatever they would bring excitement. They would bring money. They would bring guys to a fight. And now it's just like, well, we're too big to fail. So whatever, we'll just bring some guys in here and you'll come watch anybody in the ring or whatever, which isn't necessarily true. So I think they're going to have to do something to get the right people's eyes on the right places within the organization and multiple organizations now. I think Dana White's in charge of people smacking people now.
Yes,
right?
slap boxing.
Okay, yeah, he's got that going on. Maybe he's just grown a little bit too quickly. Sometimes you can take on too much as a business, and now you're spread too thin. You don't have the right people in the right places. But yeah, it just kind of reminds me of ADHD. Like I jump into a hobby and I'm like, okay, well, now I don't know I'm bored. I don't know what to do.
Well, and also, the UFC didn't have this problem 10 years ago. Like to your point, they would have, in a London card, they would have had Michael Venom Page headlining. It just seems like they're overthinking the situation. And maybe it's because he's not a UFC built star, and maybe because they're afraid of creating the star aspect again. We've talked about that on Main Event with Rob Ruzicki and Double Anthony Alford and myself. Which a reminder, Midnight Run with Anthony Alford back here tonight after us at midnight. I'll be producing. I'll be back in the saddle with him. I'm excited.
Wait, when you say that, do you mean they're trying to be like less wrestling, more whatever happens? We don't want to steer it one way. Is that what you mean?
I think they just mean they don't want to create the stars. Like they just want to have it where they can just put another fighter in and it won't change anything. They're just gonna have a good fight, but they're not looking for the Conor McGregors of the world, the John Jones of the world, the Daniel Cormiers.
I thought you said they don't want to create, like they don't want to steer so and so to becoming a star, or this guy should be like based on personality. You want whoever wins. Which I think that's the most, that's the highest integrity way to do it. But you have to decide if it's going to be fighting or entertainment or both or a mix or whatever, right?
Yeah. No, it's as somebody who I love mixed martial arts. I mean, I was rocking the cage fighter shorts, all throughout wrestling practice all the time. So it's like I love MMA, and I just think they're in a weird spot right now, man. They're in a weird spot. So
yeah. Well, like you said, no stars and the. I don't want to say the inability, but almost the indifference toward creating any. It doesn't seem like it could last long. I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on it, pal. You know what? We're also going to keep an eye on what Scottie Pippen's doing, man.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen. Yeah. For those that don't know, Scottie Pippen, 6-time NBA champion, Chicago Bulls legend, running mate of Michael Jordan. You could say maybe the vice president of Michael Jordan, basically. If he was the president of the Bulls, he was the vice president. Yeah. Scottie Pippen, however, I don't think he likes being the second fiddle, or at least being considered that, Chad. And I know you have a little more experience watching Scottie live than I did.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see the commercial he did with Pib?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it. Okay. Eli, it would have been hilarious if he. Do you want to show the commercial? Do you want to show?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, right. It's a commercial. They want it out there. They want people to see it.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's show the commercial. I've been
all right, here we go.
Let's set the record straight. Let's set the record straight about Pib. When you think about Pib, you think of what? Second best?
Fact check 'em, Pip.
When something has been considered second best for so long, we just blindly accept it as gospel.
A decades-long plot built on marketing, social media.
Multi-part documentaries.
Pip took that personally.
Yeah, I said it. Pip is a GOAT.
It's Pib.
Don't correct me.
Hey, yo, Mr. Pib.
Bro, first off, we were both ready to play that video. That's how excited we were. Both back on screen.
It's Monday. Can't believe it. Yeah, we were ready for this. We cancel each other out. That's math. We just learned about math. Cancel each other out.
Hey, two negatives equal a positive. Look at us. We're back in the game, baby. Come on. What's Scottie doing, bro?
I don't know. Listen, this would have been hilarious if he didn't really believe that he was better than Jordan, right? Like, this would have been an absolutely hilarious commercial. And it is kind of funny, but I feel sad. I almost feel sad laughing at it because I know that he really feels that he was better than Michael Jordan. And I told you, man, I had WGN as a kid. I watched the Bulls a lot. They were always on NBA, on NBC, on Saturday, whatever. I watched Michael Jordan and the Bulls and Scottie Pippen probably well over 200 times, right, growing up. Just and not, I've seen him play live, but I mean on TV, I watched him play. Pippen was really good. He's a great player. He was recently named the top 50 player of all time by the NBA. You've got to let this be enough, man. I mean, we're not going to pull up the numbers. We could do that. We could easily prove that Michael Jordan was the more impactful, the more skilled, the more talented, the better player, the better basketball player in every way. And I don't mean this. I loved Scottie Pippen. I loved watching the Bulls. I didn't really have an NBA team growing up. I kind of lived, not really near Cleveland. I wasn't, whatever. I liked the Cavs, whatever. I wanted them to win. It was fine. But I gravitated toward Michael Jordan, as a lot of people did, when I was a kid that were my age. It was really easy to root for the Bulls, right? So very marketable. But again, I mean, Pippen was a great player, probably a top 5 to 10 player in the NBA at that time, even, I would say. But he was clearly, the 1B. And I wouldn't even say that. Jordan was so head and shoulders above everybody at the time. Jordan was the clear number 1 player at the time. You can't say that it was 1A and 1B because Pippen wasn't quite that good, but it was easily 1 and 2, right? Pippen was easily the number 2 behind Jordan. He was great. But that's got to be enough for him, man. His game was his game. And I think sometimes you and I talked about it before, how, people don't do this with Kobe and Shaq really, but that's the one duo where you're like, well, who was more of a – their positions were so different that I think it's almost easier to say, well, Shaq did this differently, Kobe did that differently, whatever. But Pippen and Jordan's games were similar, right? Both, Pippen was a little taller, so he played the 3, whatever. Michael was a shooting guard, but that's fine. They were both built on scoring, slashing, getting to the hoop, whatever. Both pretty good defenders. They were both a similar frame. Like I said, Pippen was just a little bit taller. Yeah, I think it's easier to compare them and look at them and say Jordan was clearly the better player. I don't know that this is even an argument, and I feel bad for Scottie Pippen. He's got apparently some people around him that are I don't know, maybe he's just really confident in himself, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with the confidence, but you've got to be able to look at history and go, okay, that was Michael Jordan. Come on, Wait, I was reading about the UFC, and Dana White said he was trying to be a fighter. And he said at some point you have to wake up, look yourself in the mirror, and say, hey, what? I just don't have it. I'm not it. That's not me. I'm not a champion. And Pippen was clearly very good, but not Michael Jordan. That's not him.
Yeah, and he tried to win, after in Portland with Rasheed Wallace. I was reading about that game, with that series with the Lakers at Game 7 where they could have got it done. They didn't. Trying to win after Michael. And here's the thing, at the end of the day, it would be like Klay Thompson trying to compare and say he's better than Steph Curry. He's not. He's one of the greatest number 2 options of all time on a championship team, but he's not Steph Curry.
Yeah, and Kyrie to LeBron and trying to say that, people say that, the Cavs only won the championship because Kyrie hit the shot. Think about what got you to that shot. I mean, you have to look at the whole picture. You can't look at the last 2 minutes, right? You just can't do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And I know we're going to get the final thoughts here in just a moment. We have some final thoughts from, of course, the man, the myth, the legend of Real Talk with Papa Moon on Saturdays here on the Inside Edge Network at 5 p.m. He is second place in the March Madness bracket, and he says, Chad, Kobe is the GOAT.
Okay. I mean, hey, listen, it's a hard argument for me. I get why people say that. I get it, man. The Mamba mentality. I mean, I think the key is you can argue this between Kobe Bryant. You can and Michael Jordan. You can do it. They both have lasting impacts, both in the game, culturally, around the game, all around the world. Scottie Pippen's impact is not quite that far-reaching. It's not that long-lasting. To me, I mean, always fond memories as a kid of growing up watching those teams. I mean, a lot of those guys I really liked, man. B.J. Armstrong, Craig Hodges, Steve Kerr. I mean, the center, Bill Wennington, Will Perdue. I mean, guys that like Luke Longley, Tony Kukoc.
Yeah.
Guys that you watch that like don't get all the press run, but guys I like. And again, I really like Scottie Pippen, but man, he's got to come off this. Like, he's not the best player of all time. He's not a top 3, not top 5. Take the top 50. Take whatever it is that the NBA, when they named their top 50 players, he was in there. People went, wow, really? And I'm like, well, I mean, it was really good with the Bulls. Would he have been that good without Jordan? Probably not. Would Jordan have been as good as Jordan was without Pippen? Probably not. But I think that's a cool part of his legacy. That should be a part of what he's proud of, not that he was better than Jordan. Like, hey, I helped elevate my teammate to be one of the best of all time. Not I'm better than him. I'm better than that guy. Come on. You know what I mean? Like, stop that. And by the way, Pib, I mean, they don't sponsor the Inside Edge Network, and that's unfortunate. But I think they leaned into the commercial. They know what it is with Dr. Pepper, right? And if Pippen had if he leaned into this and was just able to laugh at himself a little bit, I would have loved this commercial. But I saw it, Eli, and I was like, oh man, come on.
Yeah, no, for real. Hey, we gotta get the final thoughts here. We got everybody chiming in, the entire network. We have double Anthony Alford chiming in. Catch up at midnight run with Anthony Alford. Excuse me, my goodness. Hey, Dennis Rodman made another Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame. He did get inducted. Shams Charania had it first from ESPN, and multiple reports came in after WWE announced it. But Dennis Rodman, I mean, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
He's gonna get his singlet retired. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you know. All right, Chad, let's put some final thoughts into this Monday and let's get out of here.
You want me to go first?
I would love it.
Hey, self-awareness is the key this Monday. Just know your place, know your role. Like, know that, like, hey, I'm not, like me in my marriage per se. Like, I'm not the greatest spouse in the home. I'm not the greatest parent. I know that's my wife. My wife's number one. I'm happy to be number two. Like, if someone looks back at this household and they say, hey, as far as adults go, that's the number two of all time in that household, I'm good with it. It doesn't matter to me that that's technically last. I don't care. I'm just here to support, and I'm here to, like, if I got to take the ball to the rim, I take the ball to the rim. If I got to kick it out to my wife and she hits a three, whatever. My wife hits a three. I'm not worried about it, right? What am I talking about? I have no idea. Oh, self-awareness. Yeah, just have a little self-awareness, man. And if you like Mr. Pibb, that's fine. If you like Dr. Pepper, that's okay too. If you think Scottie Pippen is the greatest player of all time and you watched him play, I'm seriously concerned about your ability to assess talent. That's all I got.
I love it. I got a short one here for you. I would just say, just make sure you smile. I'm in a great mood. I'm back with my bro Chad, back in the saddle here on Primetime. Make sure you smile. Get some sunshine. It's snowing here in Ohio, but it's going to get warm again. And just make sure you smile, man. It's going to be a great week. We're with you all week, Monday through Thursday. We are with you 10 to 11 p.m. Then, of course, double Anthony Alford with you midnight run Monday through Wednesday. At midnight, I'll be producing that at midnight. So I'm going to go take a quick pause.
Remember, Thursday's a little bit different, Eli. Thursday's a little bit different this week.
It sure is. Is it at 9 o'clock on
9
Thursday?
Thursday.
That's right.
We're essentially the Guardians pregame, so.
We sure are. So stay locked in with us. Stay locked in at Inside Edge Network. Give it a follow, Inside Edge Net. Get Chad a follow at Real Chad Bryan. I'm Eli Moon at the man they call Moon. That's Instagram. That's where I do a lot of my business. And, of course, you'll see me in a little bit with Midnight Run with Anthony Alford. But give the follow to the Inside Edge Net. Stay locked in. Use the QR code. Get some great stuff. That's the end here of this Monday edition. That's Chad Bryan to my right, your left. I am Eli Moon. This is Inside Edge Primetime. And, of course, we'll see you tomorrow.